today. In particular, so we're going to look at streaming, which I must admit is something I didn't realize that it had such an environmental impact until last year when we start looking at some figures, and it's quite shocking actually. So first of all, what is streaming? What are we talking about when we're talking about streaming? We're talking about the transmission of audio and video data via the public internet. It's the transmission of OTT, so over-the-top content, from and through multiple IT infrastructures, data centers, and wide area and telecommunication networks. So you can, from that bullet point, you begin to get a feeling of how complex the whole streaming issue is. So here I'll just go through some general figures. So in 2019, 75% of all internet traffic was video streaming. And if you look on the right, so you see Netflix is responsible for 15%, that was in 2022, of global internet traffic, followed closely by YouTube with nearly 12%. You can also see there on the bottom, Disney, TikTok, Facebook, and Prime. So what's the industry doing? Well, there's been, with the increased amount of streaming going on, there's definitely a growing awareness. We've been able to observe this over the last few years. Various initiatives have started, and one of the approaches they're looking at in greening streaming is what they call good enough. So what's good enough? Does it always have to be the highest resolution video that you watch on your end devices? Once we have we've basically described, as we call the streaming chain, and we've identified all the components. Then the next step is to go on to measurement. So identifying the points where you can measure, where can you physically measure the use of the consumption of electricity. We're looking at AI-supported contextualized video encoding. So this is what Fraunhofer Focus are doing. So really looking at how you can, depending on the type of content and the type of video, how you can really encode it best, and how AI can support that process. And a further issue we're looking at is if we can come up with a certified green streaming label. I'm not sure if we manage it, but we'll try our best. So I looked at some streaming TV viewing and streaming figures for 2022, and for television overall in Germany, 251.8 million hours of TV content is viewed daily, and that includes 6.8 million hours of streaming.
I really like the approach of the green streaming option, because it's another choice you take. If you choose to be more responsible and sustainable, you're probably more likely to take that choice than to take the choice of a lower quality. So if you ask the question, do I want a lower quality or a higher quality? You say, well, I want the higher quality. But if you ask the question, do you want a high or low impact on the environment? You might opt for low. Content delivery networks, the CDNs. So actually, it's not like one point. There's not a server at Reed Hastings' home, which handles all streams that go out to all Netflix users worldwide. But there's a wide network, a content delivery network, which consists of hundreds, maybe thousands of intermediate nodes which distribute streams. So it's like a tree structure. So you have one stream feed to maybe the broadcaster, so from RBB to Telecom, and they then distribute, they recode the stream and send it to all their delivery nodes, so that and from these delivery nodes, it comes to your home, basically. So it's really like a multiplying structure, it multiplies in effort.
We should try to come back to shooting in 2K, which was very brave. Try to advocate for the European Union regulations for especially TV screens or TV sets producers to much more develop upscaling on the end of TV set.
I think the TV manufacturers obviously want to show, you know, bigger, better, shinier TVs, and that possibly needs to be questioned.
So if you do video encoding, you can do this. There are symmetric encoding algorithms, which mean the encoding is as fast is as complex as the decoding. Or you can have algorithms where the encoding is quite complex, takes a long time, and the decoding is very, very simple and fast.
Streaming has replaced, or what it basically has replaced, is this DVD distribution. So I mean, is there any kind of idea like how does it compare to this DVD distribution?
If you compare the analog TV, so which you are also referring to if you're talking about black and white themes, and the digital TV, then I would say the energy consumption was lowered by a factor of about 4 to 8.
And streaming this to just check how beautiful is jungle or desert, it's so not green that it broke any other options which 360 video supposed to give, like making a lower carbon footprint because you are not traveling to jungle.
Thanks a lot for your presentation, and I thought it was really a good insight into a part of, well, the media production chain or the media value chain that we often overlook.